All right, so now let's finish up chapter 2. Okay, this is that, it was like number 11 in the notes, it was about the SUVs, and we did the mean and the median and the mode on this in previous videos, but now we need to do the standard deviation, so let's just go back to this problem. Okay, why I don't want to do it by hand. Here's the procedure. If I want the standard deviation for samples, which this is just a sample of some SUVs, what I do is first I go and find the mean. We got like 6.2 last week. And then I take and subtract each and every one of these. I go 6 minus 6.2, adds like negative 0.2, 6 minus 6.2, again another negative 0.2, 9 minus 6.2, that's like 2.8, 2.8. And I write down a new list of all my subtractions, and then I take each and every one of those subtractions and I square it. Then I take that entire list of squared numbers and I add them all together. And then I divide that by however many you got minus 1. So if there's 13 of them, I divide by 12. And then when I get done with all of that, I take the square root of it. Okay, so if you had to do standard deviations by hand, that's what you'd have to do if you're trying to follow the formula. And now from the TI video, you already know we don't have to do this. Guaranteed by the end of the semester, you will not have this formula memorized. You probably won't ever look at it again because apart from the dark ages, why would you ever do this way? We're going to use some kind of technology. Nobody figures out standard deviations by hand. Okay, and the one with the sigma, this is if the U.S. Census was doing a standard deviation because they have the entire population. Okay, but it's basically the same formula except they get to divide by n instead of n minus 1. N minus 1 just gives you a little bit more wiggle room, which means that you will be able to just kind of fudge numbers a little bit more when you're explaining something as statistics. You want to give yourself a little more wiggle room, so that's what that's for. We'll go into more of what the standard deviation means when we get to z-scores, but for now, we're just going to figure out what the standard deviation is as a number. Okay, so I've decided I'm not doing this. All right, so I'm actually going to do the standard deviation using my calculator. So I get back to my calculator. And I know I need to put those numbers in. Stat, edit. Wait a minute, there's the numbers from that like previous problem in there. Okay, now you got several choices. Right now my cursor is on that first one from that last list I did, 1, 1, 1. And I could just keep hitting the delete button and it will just take them all out. I could overwrite, if I just hit 6, enter right now, it will overwrite the entire list one at a time. It'll just write these on top of those and get rid of those that way. The other thing you could do is you could move the cursor up. So you use the up arrow until the cursor ends up on the L1 and hit clear. And it will clear out the entire list. Now the list is just gone. I didn't have to go delete, 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 delete. Now the problem with doing that is if you're doing them by individually, it's delete, 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 delete. If you go up to L1, you have to hit clear. If you go up to L1 and hit delete, what it does is it takes L1 completely off your calculator. And now next time you go into your calculator, there's no way to put anything in L1 anymore because you can't even see it. It got deleted completely off your calculator. The easiest way to fix that is to go into the lithium battery, take the battery out, which restores to factory settings. So it's not enough to take out the little AA batteries. You got to take out the lithium battery. So I never delete by putting something up here and going delete because I keep forgetting. Am I supposed to hit delete or am I supposed to hit clear? And then I do the wrong one and then got this ordeal of having to put L1 back on my calculator. So I always just delete them individually, or if I know this list is longer than the previous list, it will overwrite the entire previous list without me doing anything. So I might just do that and overwrite it. Anyway, so now I got to put those in. And then I hit second quit because I got my whole list in. And then I need to do one variable stats again. It still says one variable stats on my regular people screen, but that's only because the previous problem is still on there. You can't even get back into that now. I need new one variable stats. Stat, calc, one variable stats, and luckily I haven't deleted list one from my calculator, so it's the default when I hit enter here. All right, and it says that x bar equals 6.23. Well, that's what it said was 6.2, and it tells me Sx is 1.5, I'll round up 1.54. It also tells me sigma is 1.48. Okay, now if this had been a question on an exam that said what's the mean and standard deviation, I would write down x bar and Sx, because I know this is not the entire population of SUVs. And I'm not the US Census, so I have almost no occasion on which to write this one down. My calculator has no idea whether I've just done the entire population of something or not. So it just goes ahead and gives me both of them just because it doesn't know which one I want. But I didn't want this one. Okay, and maybe the problem also asked me for the median. And if it did, oh, it's median 6. I could write that down as well. Okay, last week we rearranged them into order and figured out the median. But here, my calculator got the mean for me, it got the median for me, and it also got this new number called standard deviation. Okay.